Okay, guys, so I'm back. I have had a shower, and my hubby is asleep in our room, so I figured let me just get right to it and I guess start from the beginning as far as what has brought me to this point. So I guess I will start by saying that. Okay, so one, I am blissfully married to my husband, Emil, of almost 18 years. And we have five, I say, beautiful children. Not just obviously in appearance, but just their spirits as well. Um, well, sometimes, but anyways, okay. But I, um, I would say that as a couple, athleticism is something that interests us, even if it hasn't been something on a personal level until more lately. It's definitely something that both my husband and I have been known to do, definitely in our youth. So the fact that our children, four of the five of them, from a very young age, got into sports does not surprise us. It kind of runs in the family. Our oldest one never liked sports, but funny enough, he is a private in the Army, satellite communications, and but yet he still has to do PT every morning. So now everybody, in some way, shape, or form in our family is known to pump iron or in some way, shape, or form be fit. So like I said, the whole being the athletic parents was just our thing, but we kind of just left it to our kids. Never really seeing us having the time. My husband, in the profession that he was in for, what is it, like 12, well, going on 13 years. Now that is aside, but he was a landscaper, and so he was always, out and just doing laborious work. So for him, and he's already tall and lean, and so weight issues was never an issue for him. So I was really the only one, that was the little chunky one in the family. And while, I mean, some may say, well, you weren't really chunky, I am 5'4", and so although we will not even talk about the BMI and how outdated that is, the point is I needed to be lighter. I needed to be just thinner than what I was carrying around. And I think that really became a reality to me about 3 years ago when I was at one of my daughter's track meets, and it was in another city, and I happened to pass out. Thankfully, my husband was standing with me. I was already kind of feeling a little lightheaded, and so he was kind of holding me arm in arm, and next thing you know, I passed out. And yes, I was stubborn. I didn't go to the doctor or anything like that. Like, I didn't go to the hospital that day, but a few days later, I did decide to go to my gynecologist because I happened to be on my cycle at the time, and I had been experiencing heavy cycles for a long time, and so I figured, hey, probably has something to do with that. I also was diagnosed with having the alpha thalassemia trait, which sometimes can be confused with anemia, and so I figured I have some blood issues. Let me go to him. He knows me the best. I had my kids through him, and I've had other surgeries, So, well, long story short, go to him, and my fibroid tumors, which are non-cancerous, they had grown, and I was severely, I guess, anemic, that's how it would come across. I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's a mixture of anemia and the alpha thalassemia trait, but the point is my hemoglobin was like at 4.5. And, anybody that knows anything about iron, it's supposed to be probably 11, 12 or higher. So I had to get a blood transfusion, and then a month later, I had to go in for hysterectomy or partial. And I think it was at that time, during that time, when I realized, wow, like I was really at risk for even potential heart failure, because my body, my heart had to work so much harder to pump blood just because of my deficiency in my hemoglobin. And so it was bad. And I thank God, that I survived that and was able to get through that. And honestly, literally after recovering from the surgery, I felt a lot more energetic, and, walking across campus was nothing compared to what it used to be before. So I figured, okay, I'm good. And I kind of just, went back to regular life for me. And that entailed just being, teen mom, but never really doing anything like for myself. So my running around, my activity really came from taking care of the kids and just doing stuff for them. There were a few times that I may have tried to do a couple of exercises here and there, but nothing consistent. So it basically I just kind of kept on just doing my thing, eating what I felt like I wanted to eat. Because as far as dress size, I have been between a size 8 to a size 14. And before I decided to start this weight loss journey, I was honestly really at between a 10 and 12. So it wasn't like it was just, horrible, but it was basically it was, I just didn't like all of the extra stuff that I had on my arms at the time, or obviously the extra weight around my belly, thighs, just different parts of the body, especially that us women just, it kind of irritates us when we have that extra fat. So I would always complain about it, tell my husband, oh, my arm's so big, or my belly's so this. And, unfortunately, when you have a husband like mine that is just loving of you, it makes it very difficult to say, I'm going to do something different, because he just loves all of me, so even with my, what was it, chubby face and chubby arms, chubby waist, it never mattered to him. He just loves me. So that was always my excuse for you, child. My husband loved me, so I don't need to do nothing. But it really got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to do something, because I am really, like, I'm talking about this too much to the point where I'm not liking me. So that's when I decided I need to do something.